And now I'm very excited to welcome back a college basketball betting specialist in Justin Perri from Shot Quality Bets. You can follow Justin on Twitter at JustinPerry8. Justin, my man, thanks for coming back on the show. Just getting back from Madison Square Garden. I know you texted me this morning. You're going to the games. How exciting was that this morning?
I haven't had a minute to even get out of the clothes that I wore. Honestly, it was a great afternoon at the Garden. Awesome to watch my Johnnies get a big win. Butler stood no chance. I mean, St. John's shoots 35% against anyone. It starts to become tough. They really are looking like a top 10 team in the country, which is very exciting for me as a lifelong New Yorker to finally have some college basketball that's worth a dang in this city. So that was fun. And then a great game, Xavier Marquette to the very end, back and forth. Both teams looking good. Got a very nice live number on Xavier. So, I mean, on Marquette, on plus 7.5 on Marquette. They won outright. Nice big storm back there. You could kind of feel it. Xavier always blowing those second half leads. Felt kind of shaky. Their shot selection kind of weak. And honestly, Marquette wasn't hitting anything early. So it made some sense. A lot of fun. Garden was buzzing. Excited to see how Marquette does against St. John's tomorrow. Line should be opening pretty soon, if not already. And we'll be off. Hopefully another big day of plays. I think I took like 18 spreads today. So I am glued to the TV. Just cashed my pick of the day on Charlotte plus 10.5. It's been a good day. Looking for another 4-0 sweep on published plays.
That's right, my man. It's been great. And yeah, I mean, Cal Poly, I heard you play on Greg's show was another hit that you had too. So you're on fire, my man. You know, the line's 4.5. It opened at 4.5 for Marquette. So I don't know if you have the dig in yet. I'm kind of just digging into the games, just opening up myself. But I thought that I have to think a little bit more about that one because I know St. John's, that defense has lots of numbers this year in the Big East. But I'm gonna think more about that one. Maybe we'll get to that one. But what an exciting day! What an exciting day for you today, though, man. That is so
a great
fun
day for me.
Going to the Garden, and you have the rest of the night to look at these lines and watch college hoops. It's been a blessing to have it on all day in March. But hey, my man, we don't have a bracket. I know, but I mean, let's just throw me on a team that's going to cut down the nets. It could be the favorite. I don't care. Just I know you can't really analyze until you see a bracket, but give me your best bet.
Well, I mean, you sent me this question last week. I was looking at it last night, and obviously a little bit more, well, not a lot, maybe a little bit is up in the air now. Cooper Flagg, that ankle injury, Twitter freaking out for all of 5 minutes, getting worried that his season was over. What's going to happen? Seeing lines shift, moving, into the second position behind Auburn, seeing DraftKings, move them down like 30 points from 330 to 360. I don't know. I think it's well overblown. Duke should be that one, in my opinion, that gets it done if everything continues to go anywhere close to plan. They're almost at a 40 adjusted efficiency on KenPom, which we really haven't seen at all in the last decade. I don't think most people who sports bet college basketball frequently have been around really long enough to understand the magnitude of how good this team is. And sure, there might be some concern that the ACC is maybe propping them up by being so bad. But I mean, I was chatting today. It's like Butler is kind of like the same strength of an average ACC team, and St. John's blew them out by 20 today pretty nonchalantly. I think Duke would have done the same, maybe by 5 or 6 points more. Even if Flagg isn't 100%, I think they make the second weekend pretty easily. It's really that battle in the Elite Eight where I would start to get worried about them at all, regardless of their health. They're just that deep that even if they do lose their star, they probably can win a few matchups. So, especially if he gets healthy. I do think if you're just like, oh, I want to put someone on the top of my bracket, I want to win, I don't care about price. Yeah, Duke might be the bet to win. I think there's obviously better prices elsewhere. I have a pretty large portfolio right now. Kind of tough to buy in. I think it's pretty sharp, but I've been, contributing piece by piece to it over the season up to 15 units. And we'll know the seedings in 72 hours or something. So we're almost there.
I'm very excited for that, man. Your great point. You might even get more value on Duke now. I would wait it up. I don't think Flagg's out. He limped off. I watched him limp off, and it looked like an ankle sprain. I don't think it was a high ankle sprain. I don't think it's going to swell up and balloon to something massive. I think the smart move is to keep him out of the ACC tournament and keep him fresh for next week. And I think maybe there might be some value in the ACC tournament now. I quickly ran to the window and bet Clemson and Louisville because that's the kind of degenerate I am. That's the kind of I'm bad like that, but I still could lose them. I mean, Duke still can beat them. I mean, you saw Duke just pull ahead of Georgia Tech, and I lost a live bet on them plus 7.5 by a half point, just because I thought the team might have been in shambles. Because Malik Brown went out with a bad shoulder too, so
right.
So they have won a lot without Malik Brown. I'm not worried about that. But 2 guys down, then maybe I got to look to Clemson and Louisville if Flag's not in. But that's a great pick still. I still like Duke to win it most likely.
It's annoying. I mean, I like Houston, but again, I played Houston at like 15, 16 to 1. I have really nice prices on teams like Missouri and Wisconsin above 101 to cut down the nets. You can't find that anymore, which is great for me. I'm really happy and obviously proud of it, but I can't tell you to go do that now.
And you got that 50 to 1 on the Johnnies you told me about last show that we had, and that was a
full unit, which is pretty rare for me on a future or any play. But yeah, actually full unit on the Johnnies in the Bahamas, because of course, living in New York, the legal sports books don't let you get down on it. But I was out there watching them against Baylor, and it was supposed to be Tennessee, but it wasn't because of some late game antics and all that good stuff. The clock operator starting at a fraction late, Jeremy Roach hitting the buzzer beater and changing, the potential for St. John's to have one less loss, one more quad 1 win, maybe be a 1 seed. I don't know. Yeah. Is this team shot quality 1 seed? I don't know. No, the answer is no there. But shot quality does not like the Johnnies, which is funny. Which is why I've lost a lot of money. I've lost plenty of money betting against them. So funny. People rag on me. They're like, Justin, why are you betting against the Johnnies? Why betting? It's because I don't really, obviously, my model does, and the shot quality data does not really, I think, trust the way they play. And I mean, that's the truth. They're probably very susceptible to an early round exit. The variability on this team is crazy. They could probably cut down the nets themselves, right? They're in the top 10 in terms of pricing at this point. They could do that. They could lose to a 15 seed, a 14 seed. It could happen. A bad game, we've seen it. I don't think that happens. I think they make the second game for sure.
I think the Giants make the 16, but
I'm excited. But nonetheless, no real recommendation right now for a future. Pretty high on BYU. Actually, I do have a recommendation. I do think, and it's scary, and I like scary bets. I don't know if you know my MO too much, but the scarier the bet, the better. Baylor. The Baylor Bears. And I don't know if they're in action right now or if they play later tonight. If, I was a little too tapped in with St. John's. But yes, Baylor Bears, Texas Tech Red Raiders. Baylor wins this game. Does that price change tonight? Probably. So I don't know that they win this. Texas Tech very good, but we've seen it at the high level in these major tournaments. Do the big teams care? Who's playing? Is Texas Tech going to come out? And is Baylor going to know that they really have to win their games? They could potentially a bunch of bubbles pop and they could be on the bubble themselves out. I don't know. I'm not a bracketologist. I don't think so. I just look at bracket matrix, but I do like Baylor. I think the price, Baylor and Texas, I think are 2 teams that are very talented that could get hot at the right time. I think Gonzaga also showed us in the championship out there. They're looking good. I saw some people taking 16 to 1 to make the Final Four on them. I wouldn't really bet the championship on any of these teams. I would bet to make the Final Four.
I like it because they're going to be massive dogs. You can
Texas and Baylor
you'd rather money line roll over your Final Four. Is you're going to be plus 500 than plus 500 again? Yeah.
Well, also right. I mean, also if you want to hedge, you want to get that value out, and you want to, I think there's always. It's interesting. You and I definitely. I wouldn't call myself an EV bettor, like one of those guys who hunts those types of things, ARBs, or does anything of that. I'm an originator for sure. I price my own games. I can tell you what I would make a game in 2 weeks as long as the teams don't play, right? I don't care about market movement. And sometimes market movement ruins my plays I would have liked if I got in early. Sure. So I care. I despise it. Hold the line for me. But no, I think for me, it's a lot more about like trusting the data at the end of the day. So we'll see how it goes. I think there's some good value on those teams that might be slept on, and yeah, give me some.
Well,
give me
it's
some
Baylor.
Longhorns.
Longhorns might win this game. They're really close right now. It's a 1-point game against A&M. But by the time people get this podcast, obviously this will be over. They're up by 2 now. Yeah. What about? It's funny. I played Baylor 50-1 for a quarter unit to win. I knew you'd be on Baylor because you and I both love, and Shot Quality loves the way they play. And Will Wade, that coach, he just has a tournament type offense, man. It is a tournament type offense, really. When they're hot, and they run hot. If they can just not turn the ball over
and
to
VJ Edgecombe and Norchad Omir and Jeremy Roach, and those are names that those guys play well. It's a different story. I think that's just they are. Yeah, it's maybe you can't see me rolling my eyes behind my glasses. I'm rolling my eyes behind my glasses. You can't. It's maybe a cop out, right? You can't be like, oh well, if the star players play well, blah, blah. Obviously, but these guys also can just be so detrimental because of what they, especially Edgecombe and Omir, are so detrimental defensively sometimes because they're expected to do so much. And Edgecombe's amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm absolutely obsessed with this game. I think he's going to do great in the NBA. And that's the type of player you want to invest in at a cheap price that could get hot. The tournament's just 6 games. If they've been playing well under their weight for the entire season, as Shot Quality says, you're getting a good deal. Even if it doesn't go great, right? To make the Final Four, hedging, maximizing the combination between, which I forgot what I was saying, maximizing the combination between EV and bankroll growth is pretty interesting because like hedging and making money so that you can bet more in the future on smart bets and hedge more and make more money and grow your bankroll exponentially, like that can be better in the short term and then create more opportunity in the long term. And shout out to, I think it was Rufus who was talking about this one time. And I've always kind of innately done this, I think, and he put it into words really well. But like, don't just, yes, you can chase the best value and you could sit there on your laurels and you could say, okay, well, mathematically, I will win the most over time. Sure. But then you might not necessarily be on the fastest growth curve against time. And that's kind of important. So I do like taking like the Final Four bet. I don't hate hedging, even if it means losing a little bit of value. The value police will come after you. That's fine. I get it. Give me a little ticket. That's what you're doing. You're taking a VIG ticket. And you're going to pay it. You're going to pay a little bit to get out of your Final Four bet in the Elite Eight and take 2 units home on a quarter unit bet. But you want to know what? So what? I got 2 units in the bank. Now I can go make 8 more of these bets and hopefully take home 2 units in just 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, I hedge all the time. I bet 2 hedge sometimes. Sometimes I bet futures.
Well, you shouldn't bet to hedge unless the bet's not available, right? And so I don't have like to make the Sweet 16 available in my book. So I have to. And that's the only time this is okay, in my opinion. So, yeah. But again, everyone has their own personal strategy. That's just mine.
Absolutely. I think, and there's a certain time to do it too when you can start really grabbing that value back. Because the worst thing to do is start hedging too early, and then you're laying massive juice compounding, and then you get a lot of trouble. Well, we got their sleeper, by the way. Let's play a little game, my friend. You like games, don't you? Let's play. Where's the value? Okay. Now we're gonna just take a quick look at these conference tournaments here. On it's funny. DK pulled most of theirs, but FanDuel nice enough of them to keep theirs up mostly. And I'll share my screen. Ooh. And what we're gonna do is just kind of look and see where the value is now. I mean, me and you already have plenty of our plays in already, but like if we were coming in today to bet some of these tournaments, let's play where's the value. So Duke. ACC, we'll start with that. Minus 210 is Duke. Louisville plus 550. Clemson plus 600. North Carolina plus 950. Then you have SMU plus 3,000. Stanford plus 7,000. Where's the value?
At home with me, not playing on this tournament. Is that an acceptable response? Because that's what I would say. If you forced me to pick, I think it's Louisville. I know you said you took a little Clemson. I don't know if the price got better.
I took Clemson and Louisville. Actually,
okay, yeah. I honestly, that's if it wasn't both, if you didn't limit me to both, I would do both as well. I like that. I think you take affect the field and you take the teams that have the best chance to make it, and also I think both teams have the build to make Duke pay a little bit. And we saw Clemson already beat them. We know Louisville's another 3-point jump shooting team. Yeah, that's how I would do it. I don't hate that. I wouldn't do it though. I wouldn't play it. I don't think there's much value here.
I believe, and I agree. Well, actually,
I don't have a
we'll
bet
see
on
what
it.
happens if flag. If flag's out, then I think there is value. So I don't think he should play, but I'm not their coach.
I would argue the value might go the other way. I would say if flag doesn't play, the value might end up being on Duke if it comes down. They're so good. They're so good.
They're
like
good.
you're gonna get people being, oh, Cooper Flag's worth 3.5, 4 points to the line. What makes a change to the line is the depth and the replacement level behind them. And Duke just is so deep that sure, replacing Cooper Flag's a big deal, but they could boss up anybody in the second half. They could cover a 2 to 3 possession line against any team in the ACC on any given night without any issue.
Hey,
and
minus
so
210. Minus 210 might be value. That might
yeah,
be.
that's what I'm saying. If it comes down more, if Flag's out and that goes to minus 150, ooh, yeah, I'd consider that.
All right, well, Big East. St. John's plus 125, Marquette plus 360, Creighton plus 370, UConn plus 380, Nova plus 2,100, and DePaul sitting there at 160 to 1. So where's the value if there is any?
So St. John's Marquette is set for tomorrow as the semifinal. Then you have Villanova is playing, I believe, UConn. Kyle Neptune, Dan Hurley is the 9:30 p.m. game, and then the Creighton DePaul game is about to tip off as we record. So, I mean, Creighton's going to beat DePaul. So it's the winner of UConn Nova, which should be UConn, which per the market here. So Creighton, UConn tomorrow to face what should be St. John's. I think the value is on Marquette, and because I think they're probably the second best team here, and I think they win if they win. If they beat St. John's, they'll beat either Creighton or UConn, because essentially they'll have proven that they are playing well, they're hot, shots going in, feeling it at MSG. It looked okay today. I mean, again, the problem is that if they come out slow, which St. John's likes to do, and they give St. John's a pass early instead of making them pay, it's going to go bad. And
Right.
they got to come out hard. They got to shoot the three. They got to shoot over St. John's. I don't know how they're going to defend Zuby inside. I don't know how they're going to stop RJ and stop Kadari. I just don't know if they really have the defense. They played great today. Cam Jones played great today. And he probably play great tomorrow. Honestly, I would expect Cam Jones to have another 25-point day.
All right.
20, assuming it's St. John's. Let's be reasonable. But he'll have the ball in his hands. He was feeling it. He started playing well in the second, but it's not going to be enough, likely. But for the price, the reality is it's not going to be enough. The price on the reality is good for that chance. So I think it's Marquette here, but I mean, St. John's just looks so good. It looks so good.
They do. I would go with Creighton, because if Creighton faced Marquette, I think Creighton would be favored, and Creighton has the easier game against UConn rather than playing St. John's. So that's what I
just again, with this tournament just being so fast, rapid, lack of preparation, your form is pretty important. So if Marquette is in form to get past St. John's, man.
Mm-hmm. No, they might be flip favorites.
Unless it's again, a total fluke and St. John's in their face and they're hitting shots anyway. And we have the shot quality score backing it up, saying they should have, lost outright, which would be crazy because usually St. John's is the team shot quality says is really lucky. So if they get lucky against St. John's, then yeah, we'll fade them.
All right.
But assuming they beat St. John's, they should beat Creighton, or they should beat Connecticut. So
I wonder if 2,100 is a little bit too high in Nova too. I guess that would have been one of I just don't like their coach at all. You Neptune. Sorry. How about Big West, my man? You got UC San Diego down to minus 125. I was texting a few people about that this morning because I laid minus 160 on UC San Diego to win this thing, and all of a sudden they drop. It's like if they play Irving, UC Irvine, I think they would be minus 180, minus 200, wouldn't they? Or am I off? I still say UC San Diego is the value, but do you have any?
Well, I think you're right. I think that's how it looks here, right? You get the minus 180, and then you get like a minus 250, minus 280 in the first round that they play, which would be tomorrow or whatever day. Because the championship would be against Irvine, that they win twice. So yeah, minus 125 to win twice. And Irvine plus 130 to win twice. Northridge, 16 to 1 to win 3 times is really attractive. It's moved against me a little bit. I think I played 14 to 1. So that's my pick here. Northridge to beat San Diego. Has to beat, I think, Santa Barbara tonight. And then I think Riverside. I forget the matchups, but Northridge is playing tonight. The bottom 4 here are playing tonight, and then on Thursday, and then Friday's matchup will be winners against San Diego and Irvine. I think you fade San Diego and you grab because they might not feel they need to win. They might also Northridge is also a very good school. They're very good. They're good. I think even without the narrative analysis, they're good.
All right. Well, hey, that's a big number. I don't argue against numbers like that. Let's talk about Big 12. We have Houston at minus 135, who took care of Colorado pretty easily. Texas Tech at plus 450 now. That went up a little bit. They were lower than that because BYU plus 650, Arizona plus 800, Kansas plus 1100, and Baylor plus 2600.
I think I've already given my hand away here. I think Baylor is the value. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 50 to 1 on Baylor, so I'm happy about that. But they did cross and win their first game, so that's
you got 50 to 1 up for this tournament.
Yes, I did. Yes,
nice.
That's right.
I like that.
So I have a good shot here, and you know what, Texas Tech, I think they're everybody's darling. I thought I was being cute about them a couple months ago, but no, now everyone's on Texas Tech, so I like them less, and their number I don't think is still right. I think that number should be bigger, so I agree with that. And BYU playing great ball. I know that Iowa State was hurt today. They didn't have at least one guy. I think did they both play tonight? Did Lipsy play? I don't think Lipsy played.
I don't think he was listed with the starters.
Yeah, he didn't. Okay, so I'm showing Ken Palm right here. All right, well, let's move on to Conference USA. Liberty, minus 130. Jacksonville State plus 500, Middle Tennessee State plus 700, Louisiana Tech plus 850, New Mexico State plus 1,000, Kennesaw State plus 1,100. I'm not going to lie, I didn't bet a lot in the Conference USA, but I think that Liberty's a lot better than everybody, so maybe there's the value.
I got punked. I already lost my Conference USA bet. I took Western Kentucky, and I got punked by FIU. And I think FIU then lost last night, so I'm out. Right. Only a quarter unit, but yeah, Conference USA did not go well for me. I think the move is likely going deep into the board in Middle Tennessee or Louisiana Tech. I don't like the price on Liberty, and I'm low on Jacksonville State, so I would go away from both of the top options.
Ivy League. Let's move on to the Ivy League. It's got Yale minus 190, Cornell plus 270, Dartmouth plus 850, and Princeton plus 1,100. God, I want Dartmouth to win because they finally make the tournament here, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, yeah, it's tough. Cornell, likely. The shooting is so good. They've been so hot, and they're in their form. I think they're the value.
Okay.
I'm not paying for Yale, but
yeah,
I'm definitely not paying for. I'm definitely not taking Princeton. I would consider Dartmouth, and I would consider Cornell.
All right, middle ones, Cornell and Dartmouth. SEC, Auburn. Oh, it's locked. Of course, they locked the numbers on it right now because I think a game's going on right now. I can always try to pull it up on DK and see if that's available real quick. Team futures, conference tourney winners, and they pulled it as well. I mean, let's just kind of think of what they were then real quick. I mean, you probably had Auburn in the plus 150 range. Florida was plus 340 last time I looked. You're probably looking at plus 500 on Tennessee, around the same for Alabama and Kentucky.
Yeah, again, it'd be Texas here for me.
Okay,
And
Texas.
then I have a money line here. I have them spread here today, so they have to get it done.
Geez, I got to check that score on Texas. Are they choking or something?
Did it
What's
finish?
going on here? It's got to be close.
Yeah,
Texas
I guess
73.
that's why
Oh,
it's
it's
close.
tied. Overtime. Oh, yeah. I was like wondering where those numbers went. There you have it. They're in overtime, so it looks like they choked that lead away. The WAC, Grand Canyon -105, Utah Valley +210, Seattle +600, Cal Baptist +600, Abilene Christian 4,100, and Tarleton State 1,000 or 120, 12,000, I should say. 120.
Again, it's really that middle. It's the middle.
Yeah.
Seattle, Cal Baptist. I don't want to pay for the top of the board. I rarely ever pay for the top of the board unless I think the board is underpriced at the bottom, which doesn't happen a lot because, again, people like to bet their favorite teams. They like to bet the teams they think are going to win. And there's a little bit of shading. That's all it takes.
I agree with you. And, I think
hold market. It's just such a high hold market that you have to be so convinced. You have to be so on to get these things right.
Absolutely. So I like Grand Canyon. They're fun, but they all suck away from home. This whole conference sucks away from home, kind of like the Mountain West. So I agree with you there. Let's look at some games for tomorrow real quick. I mean, these lines just came out, and Justin and I really have had no time. But I will say that Wisconsin's only laying 1 against UCLA. And Wisconsin has been hot and cold, man. But Jesus, they should be laying 1. They should be laying 3 against UCLA, And that game when they went to UCLA, they couldn't buy a foul in that game. It was bad. But I will say that Wisconsin has some choke in them. But maybe they got it out of their system now. They finished the game against Northwestern strong. They're a very heavy offensive team. Defense is somewhat suspect sometimes. UCLA is a balanced team, but they're more fugazi in a way because there's just nothing up top for UCLA. I don't think they have really that go-to player. Wisconsin's got Tanji, and I think Tanji's good.
Yeah.
So I like Wisconsin -1. I could understand it losing, but it's still the line I think is off.
I agree. I don't think it's enough to bet it. I feel like it's probably a pretty good line. UCLA is playing well. The defense should apply decently, and it could be a tough spot for Wisconsin to get that shooting going. And then we'll see. I could see a low scoring game though.
140.5 is the total, so UCLA is definitely going to put up that defense. We'll see if Wisconsin does the same. Wisconsin will play slow, so I'm kind of looking at the under. Now you said that too a little bit.
Yeah.
I will say that Wisconsin is the less rested team, but I'm not sure if they wanted to rest after that choke that they had against Penn State. They're probably just dying to get back on the court. I like Wisconsin, but we'll see. Let's move on to what about Auburn, Ole Miss? Ole Miss played Auburn tough for a long time until the very end of that last game that they played together. But Auburn's laying 10.5. Auburn not coming in hot, but is this the time that Auburn's kind of like, all right, it's time for us to turn it on? We lost 2 in a row. Is this a big bounce back spot for them, or is this Ole Miss all day?
I think it's Ole Miss all day.
Yeah, I agree with that. Ole Miss goes to Auburn and loses by 10 points in a hard-fought game. Auburn just could not miss those shots. I think Ole Miss kind of, makes it kind of tough for them to shoot around the perimeter. Ole Miss has been better guarding the 3 than they have been in the past. Ole Miss does not turn over the ball. Ole Miss ranks number 3rd on KenPom and not turning the ball over. On shot quality, I'm sure it's very high as well. I don't have all the numbers yet, but I think I would take 10.5. I'd take 10.5 with Ole Miss too. And they're a little more desperate for a better seed. I think Auburn
got hooked on them today. But it's all right.
Yeah, they won by 3 today. I thought they were covering by more for a while.
Yeah, me too. But it's all right. That's how it goes.
That's how it goes. Well, that's interesting. So those are 2 games tomorrow. Obviously, St. John's against Marquette is lined, and that's 4.5. And it looks like some money's, pressure on the Marquette side, or on the St. John's side. St. John's -4.5, -118. I mean, I wouldn't lay past 3 with St. John's, but I'm not sure if I would take Marquette until it got past 5 either. It's kind of in that middle land for me. What about you? Do you think this is a close enough game after such a big shootout?
Nah, you got to see how this one unfolds. I don't think you want to play this one pregame at all. It's just so
Okay.
stylistically interesting. You're not gonna. It's gonna finish right there, probably. That's a good line. I think St. John's wins, and again, they'll be up by 7, 8, 9 points in the last couple minutes, and the 5.5 will come down to it.
I'll tell you this: Duke, North Carolina is now lined at 7.5 minus Duke, so they're definitely punishing Flag for about 3 points, 3 or 4 points they're taking for Flag and Brown injury. I think that's a little too much, personally. I lean Duke at minus 7.5. They're still more consistent. When that big injury happens to teams, a lot of people think take the dog like immediately, but it rallies them for the next game. It kind of rallies the guys and shows them that they can win without their guys, and they're doing it for their injured guys. Yeah, I'm not touching North Carolina in this one.
You can't. I don't think you can. I think you want to stay away. Another good line.
All right, last one, BYU Houston. Houston's going to be Houston's laying minus 7.5. Total's 134.5. Man, BYU relies on the 3 a lot. Dude, I thought
this is kind of where it ends. I think Houston's going to be too good. You gotta lay it with Houston probably.
Yeah, I think that, and if it was Iowa State playing, I probably would have bet Iowa State around this number, and you probably would have been 5.5, 6. Let's face it, it wouldn't have been 7.5. But man, BYU is looking great. They won 9 in a row now. Just on an absolute tear.
Time to hop off the train. Hop off the train. Hop off the train. Hop off the train.
Houston's just so good on defense. And Houston, number 5 in opponent offensive effective field goal position efficiency. They can stop the 3. They can stop the 2. They out-rebound you. BYU is just going to be fighting for shots, and I don't think they're going to get any shots. I kind of agree with you on that one. Even though Houston plays a slow, methodical game, this could get real ugly. And then you know what BYU is going to do? They're going to turn the pace up, which is going to give Houston more possessions, and Houston's just going to put up points. One of those situations. I agree with that.
Yep.
All right. Well, any long shots, man? You kind of gave us Baylor, I guess, at 26-1. Is that the one you want to stick with?
Yeah,
Beer bet bangers.
So. That's my beer bet banger. That I think that's a good one. That maybe Texas as well. And again, to make the Final Four for both those teams, I think is even better than the conference tournament.
All right, to make the Final Four, Texas and Baylor really.
Those are like big prices too. You're going to get hefty prices, and then again, ideally, if you can get to make the Sweet 16, I'd play that, right? But I don't think you're going to get that. So get to Final Four. Happy to, if they win 2 games, make it to the final weekend, you're probably sitting pretty. You can take a couple units out and have some fun. So it's a beer bet banger. We're not like architecting the EV portfolio here. We're having a little fun. So if you want something stupid, it's probably going to lose. Those Texas teams are the ones that I think have astronomical value to what compared to the board, like 5%. It's probably the best ones.
Well, if you want more astronomical value, make sure you're checking out Justin Perri. The man is a savant when it comes to betting college basketball. He's got his red Storm jacket. I love that jacket. That's a sick jacket. Where can our listeners and viewers get your great information, my man?
Shot quality bets, baby. So SQ is the home of everything that I use to power my stuff. So if you want to, engineer your own, create your own stuff, bet on your own, handicap your own games using some of the best data in basketball, you're definitely going to need it. Post my pick of the day there every single morning. We just cast Charlotte on Thursday. Shotqualitybets.com/blog. Check it out. You can follow me on Twitter at JustinPerry8. I post most everything I do. There's a free email for the pick of the day. I'm writing for Seth Davis's new art content website, hoopshq.com. I'm the betting editor over there now. I post a daily 3-pack of picks, which is a membership, but it's a small membership. So check that out if you want a little bit more. And then, always out and about, a lot of podcast appearances, a lot of media appearances, going to be on a lot of shows for the next couple of weeks, be out in Vegas for the first round. So I'll be we got 1 week till the games are on, man. It is go time. So I'll be out there in 6 days. We got a room on the Strip. We got a house rented. We'll be broadcasting, having a lot of fun. So be out there. If you want to hang out, chat some bets, let me know. I'll be out there having a good time. And thank you so much for having me on the show, man.
Always, Justin. Thank you so much again. If you look keenly, you might see him at Madison Square Garden tomorrow. See you, Justin.
Thank you. See ya.